One thing is certain, a student who does not know the number facts is going to be handicapped. What you see before you is the menu for Howe-Two Math Facts, which is a collection of programs that can be used to help a student understand and memorize the math facts. You could consider them electronic flashcards. 3 of the programs here have the word ties in their title. Addition ties, division ties, and multiplication ties. They all work the same, so I will just show you one of them. Let's look at the multiplication ties. If your student is having trouble with multiplication, he may need to practice all the tables, or maybe he's just having trouble with his 7s and 8s. So you can choose to practice just one of the times tables, like something times 7, something times 8 every time. So let's look at the 7s. And if we say practice this set, you'll see that the 7s table comes here. If I watch the order of these numbers, 11, 7, 5, if I say practice again, it's going to shuffle this, and so it's going to be different every time, so a student can't memorize how it goes. So this is ties. The student has to tie a number times 7 to its answer. So you click on one of the numbers. It can be any one. I usually do the one at the top. You see that it turns green. 12 times 7 is 84. I'm going to click on that, and you see it connects. 3 times 7 is 21. 4 times 7 is 28. 5 times 7 is 35. 6 times 7 is 42. 10 times 7 is 70. 8 times 7 is 56. 7 times 7 is 49. 9 times 7 is 63. 2 times 7 is 14. 11 times 7 is 77. And 1 times 7 is 7. Now look what happens. It says that doing the 7s table took me 32 seconds. I've seen many a student that takes 2 or 3 minutes to do the 7s table. So my challenge to them is to try to get it down under 100 seconds at first, and then try to get it as fast as you can. Once they get the idea of the competition within themselves, they will try harder. But I would say that the student really needs to get under 100 seconds for that. If you choose practice all tables, the computer will choose a number for you at random, and then so here in this case we'd have to do the 4s tables. When it was finished, it would automatically go to another one until you practiced all the tables. Best to work on one of the tables at a time. If your student is having trouble understanding what math is, I have these programs over here called Model Math. Let's look at that. This is where, say the child does not understand what multiply means. I have a little demonstration here what it means. You have a number 1 times 1 is 1, and you can scroll here and say 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16, so they can see that 8 times 2 is really dividing this unit up into 8 times 2 is 16 pieces. So it can model that. And then when you use this to teach them that, then you can get electronic flashcards. Hit play, and it'll give a number. 2 times 2 is 4, and then check. And then 3 times 5 is 15, and then check. It's going to keep track of how many right. And if a student gives the wrong answer, like 6 times 3, and say they said 15, and check, it's going to tell them that it's incorrect, and it's going to show the model on this graphic so that they can see that 6 times 3 is 18, not what they had answered. The same is true for adding. It's going to model the adding. It's going to add things together. Subtracting is, with subtracting, it puts this and then it goes back so that you can see 9 minus 4. 9 minus 4 is going to give you that 5. Fractions are modeled in both a circular graphic and a square graphic. So I made it so that you could divide a circle up into a number of pieces, 9ths, and then choose to have like 3 9ths, and say you wanted to compare that to 3 8ths. Then you could see the graphic. and see that 3/6 is bigger than 3/9. The smaller the denominator, and if you have 3 pieces, the bigger the fraction. This flower power and star power are sort of a game mode. Let's look at that. It says multiply the petals to reach a target value. You can choose different levels. And so let's just look at level 1 for a minute. Give you the idea of how the program works. It says click this box to begin. So right here we click this. And it says click to lighten the color of petals so that the flower power, that would mean if you would multiply, choose petals that multiply to yield 15. So I'm looking 5 times 3 is 15. I get a smiley face. Star power is the same, only this time we're looking for things that add to get a certain total. So we want to add to get 5. So the total number will be 5. 3 and 2 makes 5. Number facts is just sort of flashcards, and it's going to try for speed, and the student chooses an icon. They can get into the record book if they get 20 out of 20 problems. So they choose an icon, whichever one they want, and choose whether they want to practice add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Let's practice multiplying. And then the flashcards begin. Press start. So 5 times 5, I need to, 5 times 1, 5, enter. 8, and just it uses the enter on the keyboard so that we can try for speed. I think we had a time when a student got these like under 23 seconds for the 20 problems, which I thought was really good. 9 times 8 is 72. When they're all right, it flashes like that and gives the dancing icons, and then it opens a file to see what other people have done before, and it says it took you 65 seconds to do 20 problems. See, not anywhere near the 23 seconds. You got 20 problems correct, and it says you have a better score than those who've used the computer, in other words, my time. And so then I put in my initials, just the 3 initials, and it'll open the file, and the student can compare with who's done this before. And since I'm the first one who's done this, it puts that this is the date today and that I got 65 seconds. So I go on and I can start again. That was number facts. This is 2 and 3 digit multiplication. Math is sort of like a bingo. And here again, this student can choose what they want to add, subtract, multiply, or divide, begin the game. And this is sometimes frustrating to students because the answer is not always there. 2 times 7 is 14. You can only get 1 click per problem. You have, if you get it wrong, it keeps counter, and if you click incorrectly 3 or 4 times, it'll remove the markers that you already have. So new problem, 44. I don't see a 44, so no clicking. New problem, 0. I don't see a 0. New problem, 40. There I have one. 24, right there. When you get a bingo, it's going to tell you. And let me show you what happens if you click on incorrect stuff. See, the answer here is 0. If I go 1, 2, 3, there's a warning. It takes away the markers that you already had. So it sort of penalizes them for guessing. That's math. This, the modeling math you saw. Number facts. Multiplication conquest is the whole times tables, and it works through each one of the tables. And right now it says there are 100 things you have to memorize, and I thought that if they saw that there really weren't 100 things, that sometimes the fact that there's 100 things they have to memorize defeats them. So first thing we want to do is kill off the duplicates. The commutative property says that 4 times 8 is the same as 8 times 4. Since you understand that, we'll wipe out all the duplicates. So if you knew 3 times 1, you would know 1 times 3. So you really only have 55 things. And then we'll attack the 1s. The 1s are easy. Then we'll attack the 2s. Then we'll attack the 9s. Gives the fact that the 9s have some properties that make them easy to do, and just gradually attack them, and it'll help them memorize the different ones. The great math conquest. just to try to help them learn the facts. Thanks. If you use this in a fun way, your student may master the math facts of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. I have known many students who've gotten perfect ACT scores, and there was not a single one who was not completely proficient with the number facts. When a student takes the ACT, if they use a calculator, they will not finish. It slows them down. So help your student to become proficient with the number facts. Thanks. Bye.